Okay there. Well, it looks like we're ready to start. If you've joined us, please say hello in the chat. Unju, welcome back. Great to see you. We'll give a few more, excuse my voice. We'll give a few more moments before we begin. And if you participated in some of the previous lectures today with professors, I believe McCotter and Hollis, I hope that you learned a thing or two. Good afternoon, Jenny. Oh, and hello there, Kyunghee Lee. Great to see you all in here. All right, well, I think this lesson needs no introduction. As you can see, we're going to have a conversation today about Chuseok. And in addition, we'll do a little bit of reading. We'll talk about some idioms or expressions related to Chuseok, or as we could say in English, like some type of harvest festival or Thanksgiving, as some countries call it as well. So we'll talk about those expressions, and then we'll jump into a little bit of grammar, a writing tip that I have for everybody. So let's begin with a little bit of a warm-up here today. Warm-up questions. So I'd love to hear from you. Simply, number one. So what are your plans for this Chuseok holiday? What are you going to do over Chuseok? Now, I know that Chuseok is not today, but it's just around the corner. So this upcoming Tuesday, Wednesday, what do you have planned? In my case, quite frankly, I'll be taking a rest, simply relaxing over this extended holiday. So no work, just relaxing and doing what I want to do. Unju says, celebrating my birthday. Hey, that's great. Well, happy early birthday from me to you. Great. I hope you have a nice celebration with your family and friends. Oh, Jung Daewon says morning. Now that makes me think that somebody passed away who is dear to you. So sorry to hear that. If you'd like to share more, feel free. In any case, if that is the case, I'm sorry for your loss. N says, perfect, relaxing, rest in my bed. I can relate. Yes, that is my plan as well. And we have Jenny. Her plan for Chuseok is staying at home with family and eating lots of delicious food. That sounds phenomenal. I love the food associated with Chuseok. We'll talk about that a bit later. Yes. So Kyunghee says going to visit grave with a question mark. And you are correct. That is the proper word. If you wanted to change it a little bit, we could just say, I'm going to visit some graves with an S. Usually there's more than one, so we say with an S. I'm going to visit my ancestors' graves, my relatives' graves, like this. Good. Jung Daewon, okay. You were simply saying good morning. Okay, so this is just a great example of how there is a little bit of a lag between what I say and when I see your answers pop up in the chat. I thought you were mourning, mourning, during Chuseok, in which case I felt bad. So, okay, there we go. You were just saying like, good morning, top of the morning to you. Morning. Great. Thank you. You weren't wrong. I just misunderstood. Okay, Suhyun, I'm going to cook for my family. That is very nice of you. And I'm sure they will eat your food with gratitude. Kimberly, hello. Oops, it's afternoon already. Okay. We've got it sorted out. Yes, good afternoon. Oh, but it's 10 a.m. So where are you connecting from again? if it's 10 a.m. where you are. Okay. And Jenny says, catching up with Netflix. Oh, sorry. Catching up Netflix with family. Okay, so you'll be watching lots of movies, some series, this sort of thing. Great. It sounds like everyone is going to have a relaxing time this Chuseok. Lovely. Right, Thailand, I thought so. Bangkok, right? If I remember correctly. Okay, good. Okay, and I'm wondering, actually, in the case of you as an overseas Korean, are you able to celebrate Chuseok where you are? Are the customs a bit different? Let us know if you can. Okay. So generally speaking, what are some fun things about Chuseok? What are some good things about this holiday? Perhaps you will say, seeing my relatives, seeing my hometown friends, eating a lot of delicious traditional food. What else? Maybe visiting with some children in your family, some nieces or nephews, younger siblings, seeing children dressed up in hanbok, playing games, yunori. Okay, Kyungho says, this Chuseok, I'm going to a movie with my nasty, fussy nephews. Oh, well, I'm sure they are still very, very cute. And it's nice that you're making some memories with them while they're young. What movie are you going to see? I'm curious. Do you happen to know? Okay, so we have some answers coming in about the best things about Chuseok. Traditional games, great. Making this word, cinnamon rolls. Could they be like cinnamon rolls? Is it a pastry? It could be that. That's where my mind goes. But it could also be something else too. Yes, you corrected it. Okay, cinnamon. Delicious. Making songpyeon with family. Great answer. Those are traditional rice cakes, if I recall correctly. Jenny says, gathering all family together is a great thing. But this year, due to the social distancing, it's quite hard to ask relatives to come. Yes, that's right. I know a lot of families will be spending Chuseok together, but separately at the same time. So maybe having a virtual Chuseok, simply calling or FaceTiming, or maybe the whole family, for example, all 12 or 15 relatives, they can't gather at the same time. So maybe breaking off each celebration into smaller ones. Jung Dae-woon says, well, I celebrate with my family and cook Chuseok food so my kids know what Chuseok is. That's great to be continuing these traditions while you live abroad. Lovely. And then at the same time, you're also enriching their lives with the culture of Thailand. So that's a great service that you're doing for your children and family. Okay, and special TV shows only for Chuseok are fun. Yes, I've seen a few. They're usually a type of variety show or sometimes even a sports contest where not athletes, I should say, maybe idols or celebrities compete against each other in fun games during Chuseok. So those special TV shows are always great fun. Okay, making Korean rice cake with family. Good answer. We can rest for 3 days. That's just great. No working for 3 days in a row. Yes, I think everyone's happy for that. And what are you going to do, Professor? Well, honestly, just taking a rest. I will visit my partner's family for a quick lunch, maybe on Tuesday. But other than that, just relaxing, reading books, sleeping a lot, and if I can be honest, cleaning my apartment. I have a lot of cleaning to do. Okay, now talking about the negatives a little bit. What are some annoying things about Chuseok? What are some of the downsides of this holiday? Perhaps we might have answers that deal with the amount of stress that Chuseok brings to families. Maybe some people have to cook a lot of food for so many relatives. And as well, maybe the traffic. I know that the highways in Korea are often very busy, very congested during Chuseok. Yes, so Chedi says traffic jams. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, anyone else? Some of the not so fun things about Chuseok. Maybe your relatives ask you very, very invasive questions like, why don't you make more money? That's a terrible one. But as an example that I heard from a previous student, or, why aren't you married yet? When will you have more children? When will you have your first child? So maybe relatives could be a source of stress depending on the situation. Okay, we have here most of women, so a lot of women, many women, unfortunately, have to cook lots of food, right? And, okay, N says, relatives annoy how I live, so they bother you a little bit. Okay. And good stuff. All right. And one of my favorite topics is food, so we'll jump into that one next. What is your favorite Chuseok food? So feel free to type it in Korean if you don't know the English equivalent. But there are a lot of delicious traditional foods associated with Chuseok. Some that come to my mind would be japchae, chestnut, the palm, chestnuts, jun, various types of jun. So actually, I don't know all of the names for all of the jun, but there are a lot of these Korean-style pancakes made of eggs and different vegetables, which are delicious. Okay, yes, galbi. How could I forget galbi? We have galbi, japchae, right. Oh, shike, the beverage, the drink. Songpyeon, of course. Yes, we cannot forget songpyeon. And fresh fruits are amazing. That's right. There are so many delicious fruits that are sold over Chuseok season and enjoyed by families. Oh, I miss my grandma's jun. Oh, I hope you know the recipe. That way you can recreate it. I'm not sure if I put the food names in English correctly, Chedi. You are correct. You romanized, so you wrote it into English perfectly. Well done. Korean beef, yes. 5 colored fries. Oh, yes, the jun. Okay, that's the name of the 5 colored one. Korean pancake. Right. Good. Well, I hope we all eat well over the next coming days. And our last question before we jump into something else is Chuseok your favorite holiday? Why or why not? So do you have a favorite holiday? Is it this one? Maybe it's Solal, New Year's Day. Maybe it's Christmas. Could be Family Day or Parents' Day. Halloween? You can choose a Western one too. So do you have a favorite holiday? And I'll answer for myself, just to get started. Maybe I wouldn't say that Chuseok is my favorite holiday because as a Canadian, I really like Christmas. So I think we talked about that a little bit in the last lecture about how Christmas is like Chuseok for a lot of Canadians. It's at least a 5-day holiday. You gather with friends and family. There are traditional foods that we often eat, and it's a time just to come together for everybody to stop working and take a break together. Jenny says, every holiday is my favorite. No need to work. is my favorite thing. Okay. So as long as you're not working, you're a happy person. So any holiday is fine by you. Good. Good answer. Christmas. Okay, we have another Christmas. And Unji says, Christmas because I can have presents. I can get gifts. I can get presents. Okay, great, great. So, keep your answers coming if you're still typing, but we're going to do a small bit of reading. And if you happen to know the two words that are missing, the two vocabulary words, feel free to write them in the chat. N says, before we get started, we have another message. Every holiday is happy, says Kyunghee. N says, Christmas season, there are no gifts in Chuseok. Oh, okay, I see. I know that in some families, maybe older people give money in envelopes to children or to younger people. But it's kind of a one-way transaction in that case. People aren't necessarily exchanging gifts like in Christmas. So I see how it is a little bit different. Daun says, I used to get so excited about all the holidays before I got married. But now that I am married, I have all this work. So I am not sure if I even like holidays. Oh, really? Cheer up, cheer up. So in that case, you sound quite busy. And I hope that you can recapture some of the magic of these holidays. Okay, so we have the Lunar New Year is my favorite. I can get some money from olders officially. So older people, elders, yeah, the older people in your family give you money. Okay. Good answers. So let's look at the screen and we'll do a little bit of reading here. And this is a little passage taken from a previous textbook that I used to work with. And well, I know the person who wrote this, so I feel fine to reproduce it here. I just love the way that Chuseok is described. So I'll share it with you, and please type your answer to the missing words. So it says, I would like to introduce one of Korea's most important holidays, Chuseok. It falls on August 15th every year, according to the something calendar. So it falls on is just a phrasal verb to mean it happens, it occurs. And we usually use that regarding calendars and time, right? So you could say, oh, my birthday falls on Friday this year. Last year, my birthday fell on a Saturday. So it's a little nice phrasal verb we can use. And what type of calendar are we using? Oh, yes. Okay, so Jongdaun, I believe you're the first one. The lunar calendar, right? Of course. Opposite to the solar calendar, right? Okay, good. So at this time, by this time, fruits and grains, little seeds, are ripe, ready to be eaten. And fall, autumn is near. Traditionally, it was when farming communities harvested, so collected, their crops. Crops, produce, what they're farming for. All of their vegetables, their fruits like this, their crops. It is comparable to Thanksgiving Day in America. At Chuseok, or at, you could replace with over Chuseok, during Chuseok, like this, but we'll go with at Chuseok. People travel to their hometowns to meet their families and relatives. They visit the somethings of their ancestors. Ancestors being your predecessors, your relatives, your family members who have passed away. Their ancestors on Chuseok morning. Everyone eats songpyeon, we talked about that already, a special type of rice cake, and various kinds of newly harvested fruits such as chestnuts, pears, and apples. Okay, so this blank here, visiting the somethings of your ancestors on Chuseok. And let's go to the chat. Did anyone get it first? Unju, yes. Graves. Good job. Grave sites, also correct. Yes, so they visit the graves. So you can call them grave sites. We could say the tombs, the burial mound. So the actual physical place, the earth that goes in this shape, it's a mound, like a little mountain. Because some graves, maybe, from what I've seen in Korea, they're not necessarily in the same configuration as some in the West. So there's a big pile of earth. So that could be a mound. And we have a question. What's the difference between a grave and a tomb? And that's a great question. So actually, it's more appropriate to talk about our ancestors as having graves because tombs are reserved, let's just say, for the kings and queens of Korea. So maybe you do have someone in your family history, in your lineage, who's buried in a tomb. But when I think of a tomb as a native speaker, it's more opulent. It's grander. I think of the tombs of ancient Egypt, where people are buried with all of their favorite possessions, and there's maybe even some gold thrown inside. So let's just say tomb is a little bigger, more fancy, and a grave is just your regular traditional burial site for the average person. So we'll leave it at that for now. But good job. All right. And we have a question. What is called umryok? This word, I do not know. I'm so sorry. So if anyone happens to know the answer to Suhyun's question, translating the Korean word into English, jump in and we'll share that. All right, so we're going to pick up on this point, how Chuseok is similar, comparable to Thanksgiving Day in America. We'll talk now a little bit about Thanksgiving. So, what do you know about Thanksgiving? Feel free to share it in the chat room. So we have Chuseok, but also across the world there are other types of harvest festivals, festivals to celebrate the successes of the year related to farming. It's how these celebrations usually began. So Thanksgiving in America, in Canada, and in a few other countries as well. What do you know about Thanksgiving? Yes, so we have some questions answered here. Good. Lunar calendar, okay. Turkey, okay. Switching back to kind of the Western concept of Thanksgiving. Turkey. And we have a picture here of turkey. If you have ever tried turkey, let us know in the comments. And it says turkey party. Very cute, yeah. So if you've ever eaten this bird, I'd love to hear about it. If you liked it. Some people in my country like it more than chicken. Others do not. Thanking the pilgrims. Okay, yes. So that relates to American Thanksgiving, right? About well, it's a lot to get into. There's even some historical controversy now surrounding the story of the pilgrims. These people, these pioneers who discovered America and ate in harmony with the local people. So, but that is a little bit of mythology that surrounds American Thanksgiving. I've had Thanksgiving parties since I met my American girlfriend 3 years ago. Oh, that's nice. So you're quite familiar with this whole spread of food. The turkey, the cranberry sauce. Oh, wow. What do we have here? Brussels sprouts, lots of steamed vegetables, the stuffing inside of the turkey. Thanksgiving dinner. Yes, that's a great expression. Thanksgiving party, we could call it more of a Thanksgiving dinner. Yes, it sounds a little more family friendly. Yes, that's right, Suhyun. Thanksgiving is a time for celebration and to give thanks for the crops, for the produce. Canada's Thanksgiving is October. You are correct. October, usually the second Monday, second week of October. Americans celebrate it later in November, the fourth week, I should say. Fourth week or fourth Monday of November. So a little bit of a difference there. Gathering and having good conversation, which cannot be had normally on normal busy days. Right, exactly. A time to just relax and speak with each other. I'm getting hungry. Me too, Chitty. Jungdaewon agrees. Okay. Turkey was too tough to grill when I was at the parties, actually. Oh, yeah, that's a common complaint about turkey. People say that it's a little bit dry. The meat is too dry. Very tough, difficult to cut into and to chew. But that could be why we need gravy. Now, I don't know if there's a good picture of gravy. Here's the gravy. Gravy is a meat sauce. We pour it onto the turkey so it doesn't taste too dry. Good. Every country has a different date of Thanksgiving. Yes, that is correct. But so many countries have it in November. Yes. I don't know why Canada decided to have it earlier than the other countries. Is there any difference between the American and Canadian versions of Thanksgiving? As far as I know, there is no difference. However, I think that in America, there's also this association of Thanksgiving with football. Now, I could very well be wrong, as I'm really not that into sports, and I don't have too many American friends. But from the American friends that I have, I know that a lot of families watch football games. So American football, not soccer. Yeah, so they watch football. I know that's one culture difference. Is gravy sweet or salty? It's a little more savory. We could say it's closer to salty compared to sweet. So it's not a sweet meat sauce. It's saltier, more savory, and in fact quite delicious. Good. Okay, we happen to know a lot about Thanksgiving. So we'll move on and maybe we could answer this question. It's a bit tough, but do you happen to know any expressions or idioms related to Thanksgiving? So this one's a little more tricky, but do you know anything that's said around Thanksgiving or that relates? I'll give you a second. We could have words like gratitude, being thankful for, being grateful for. This is a tough one. So I'll lead us into it, and we'll look at this image here. This man, if you might know, Joey from Friends, he is getting his Thanksgiving pants ready. So I think he plans on eating a lot of food. So he needs some room to expand. So that leads us to our first expression. So related to holidays, any holiday where people gather and eat a lot of food, especially Thanksgiving, native speakers say this a lot, and that is, I'm stuffed. So simple one, right? Stuffed means full, very full of something. So I'm stuffed, I have eaten too much, and I am too full. Oh, Kyungi, that's a really sweet answer. Thanksgiving pants, yeah. So this one, though, I'm stuffed. And it's really easy to use I am stuffed, or you could talk about the past. I was stuffed. So I'm wondering if anyone could try to make a sentence with this. For example, I was so stuffed last weekend. I ate a full chicken. Or, wow, this meal is so delicious. I'm deep speaker. I am so stuffed now, so I cannot move. Good. Yes, Jenny, exactly. Like that. Okay, I think we all understand the sense of being stuffed. And we're going to look now at our second expression. Now, not so much related to Thanksgiving, but it involves an icon of Thanksgiving, the turkey. So we're taking the turkey and moving it into another expression. Native speakers in daily conversation could say this. So cold turkey. And when we say cold turkey, it refers to quitting, giving something up, or quitting something immediately, not slowly and gradually. So an example being, Ted, he tried to smoke only one cigarette a week, but he ended up going back to his old habits. Because cutting down on cigarettes didn't work, he decided to go cold turkey. And that means that he didn't reduce slowly, he just stopped. He quit suddenly. So we use to quit something cold turkey or to go cold turkey. Both are okay. So while we try out this expression, I'll get back to the chat. Unju, perfect English. I like that answer. Going back to the previous part about being full, being stuffed. Thank you, but no thank you. As you can see, I'm quite stuffed. Perfect. That sounds great. I ate like a horse. Question. Yes, same meaning. And you can use that as well. I ate like a horse. I'm so stuffed. I'm so full. My husband quit smoking. He just went cold turkey. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Okay. Don't go cold turkey. Try again. So maybe cautioning somebody to take it slowly. So there we go. We can talk about cold turkey. Maybe you stopped eating sugar. I stopped eating sugar cold turkey. I quit drinking alcohol cold turkey. Let's say my brother, I'll invent a family member. My brother decided that he needed to stop playing video games and he went cold turkey. So it means that he just quit suddenly. So can working out be cold turkey? So in this case, I think we use cold turkey more for negative things. So things we want to stop doing and avoid. And in the case of working out is kind of a positive thing. So it may not match, but you could say, sure, he quit working out cold turkey. Yeah, he stopped exercising cold turkey. It would be a little less common, but it's still correct, and everyone would understand you. But we would ask, well, why did he stop or she stop? Why did they stop working out so suddenly? Due to an injury? Okay, so that could work. I see what you're going for. That works. Exactly, Jenny. Yes, you are doing really well not drinking. I can't believe you did it cold turkey. Very natural. Don't be such a cold turkey. Calling somebody a cold turkey. Well, you could, but I think in that case, a little bit of an insult. Instead of calling somebody a turkey, we would call them a chicken. We'll switch animals. So don't be a chicken. Don't be scared. That's more of the animal we would choose. Don't be afraid. Don't be a chicken. Just try. Okay, good answers in here. All right, well, I think we're going to now switch over to a little bit of grammar. And then at the end of the class, we'll have some more opportunities to speak and share our opinions, but I wanted to spend some time talking about this small writing tip today. And the reason is because these days I've been correcting and offering feedback to a lot of students. And I think that overall, the students of this university are pretty good writers, a lot of strong writers. But there seems to be this common mechanical error. So tiny issue, not a big problem, not at all. But if you want to write really like a native speaker, it could be good to review the rules of capital letters. So capitalization, when we use the bigger case, right? Uppercase versus the lowercase. So I've given some small rules here, but there are many about using capital letters. And we're going to review that a little bit today. As I said, it's not a big problem, but it will make you not look like a native speaker if you make too many of these errors in your writing. So don't worry about the chat because this is just an informal situation. But in your professional writing, when you do an assignment, when you post on the message boards, try to remember some of these. So maybe some of you, if you know some other rules about capitalization, feel free to share. But we'll look at four of them. So when do we use capital letters? Always at the start of our sentences. That problem, not too bad. As well as the personal pronoun I. Again, not too bad. And this one is very technical. And we don't have to worry too much about it. But if you're quoting somebody and it's the beginning of the quote, you use a capital letter. But if you're not including a full quote and you're just completing a sentence with the quote, we call that partial quotation. We don't need the capital letter. So here, this full sentence is included. Here, it's just two sentences glued together, two separate ideas. So our capital letter isn't necessary. And this is the one we're going to spend our time on today. Proper nouns versus improper nouns. So this is where I find most of the writing trouble coming from with some students. So proper nouns. Could somebody name some other examples of proper nouns? So words that must take a capital letter. We have months of the year. We have countries. We have cities. We have the names of important documents, books, publications. But do you know of any others? My name. Good example. Names. Yes, good. First names and last names. Okay, names. Yes, the first alphabet, the first letter of a name. Perfect, Suhyun. Yes. Countries, planets. What about companies? Brand names. Schools. There are a lot of proper nouns. Chitty, very good. Languages. The names of the language, users of the language. So groups of people, right? Like Koreans speaking Korean in Korea, right? All three of those take a capital letter. Subject, yes, school subjects, very good. For example, intermediate English composition. Biology 101. Good. City, street, district, titles, song titles. Yes. Many. Good. So, we're going to put that to use. It's a little funny that we now have a picture of some chicken on the screen. But Does anyone happen to know who this is? Who this man is? We're going to use him in our example. Maybe he's not so popular in Korea. Kentucky. Oh, there we go. There we go. Sure, Kentucky. The man who invented Kentucky Fried Chicken. Okay. So, oh yes, good. Colonel Sanders. Yes. So, actually, I'll take a quick minute to explain his name because it's a little confusing. Sanders is his surname, his last name. This word here is pronounced colonel. You might want to say colonel, and many native speakers make this mistake as well, but it's one of those tricky words reduced from French into English, and we say colonel, like sergeant, captain. So he was given this. This is a title, right? Sir is another type of title. So, but his real name, oh, I do forget it. He has a real first name. It's not Colonel. It's maybe not Hubert. I've forgotten, but he does have another name. Anyway, of course, his title and his last name, they are capitalized. So we have a sentence here on the screen about Colonel Sanders was the founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken, brackets, KFC, at the age of 62. Now, students could type this on the message board. Looks fine, and the message is conveyed, but it needs to be fixed up. So could you please type which words we need to capitalize to make this a perfect sentence? Harland. Thank you, Kim. Thank you. Yes, Harland. David Sanders, that's his full name. And Autumn said, sounds interesting. I just thought exactly the same thing that you said about the military. Right. So I think in his case, he didn't do anything special in the military. He was a soldier, but he didn't get the title from the military. For achievement, he got the title from the city that he lived in for making such a good business. So it was a bit of like an honorary title. I'm not sure the details, but all right. We'll get back to the question. Where do we use the capital letter? Where should we put it? We need a few in here, actually. In KFC, yes, it's a company name. It's an abbreviation. Colonel Sanders, fried chicken, KFC, yes. And Unju, same answer, Chitty. Oh, good. We've retyped the question. Perfect, everybody. Yes, good job. Correct. So small things, but we shouldn't forget them. Good job. And we have another to correct together. This man, I think we can guess his name. This one is, yes, Walt Disney. And, I need to move my screen a bit. Okay. So it says here, as a young adult, Walt Disney was fired. So he was let go. He was kicked out by the editor of the Kansas City Star because he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. So this one's a little more tricky, but how can we correct the sentence to make it perfect? The sentence meaning is when Walt Disney, before he was famous, before he started his company, he worked in this magazine, the Kansas City Star, and his boss, the editor, said, "Oh, you have no good ideas. You lack imagination. You need to find another job." Of course, we all know what Walt Disney later went on to do. And how can we edit this sentence? Ooh, Jung Do-won, very fast. Walt Disney was fired by the editor of the... Okay, good. As well, I'm glad you caught it. Good. Okay, so I think everyone did well here. I'm going to move up my screen. I'm at the top now. Okay. Correct. And yes, these are the correct answers. Here, it's an example of our partial quotation. So you don't need the capital L here because we're completing two incomplete sentences. We're putting them together. Unju as well. Perfect. Okay. I think this could be too easy for all of you. We have just one more. And again, I'm sure we know J.K. Rowling. And here in 1995, after 12 publishers had already rejected her, a small publisher, so book company, named Bloomsbury, agreed to publish Harry Potter. So this one, quite similar to the previous examples. What do we need to write to make it perfect? And Chedi, yes, I agree with you too. I think it's a great example of how people, they give up their dreams too soon. I think that, had Walt Disney listened to that negative criticism and felt bad about himself, maybe he wouldn't have gone on to create what he made. So yeah, I think it's just a nice little story to believe in yourself even when others don't necessarily believe in you. Yes, good. Okay. Everyone got this one quite quickly. So I have just one more challenge for you. And it is a little bit long. And I'll move my screen up a bit. Okay. In this passage, in this text, there are 34 places where we need to use a capital letter. It's a long paragraph. I don't expect you to write all of it, but read through it, and if you can, just list the words that need the capital letter. So, of course, when we started off, we will need a capital letter on the S in soju. So just type soju, type the next, type the next, type the next. I remind you that we need to remember what is a proper noun and what is not a proper noun. So you might get a little bit tricked in some cases here, or maybe not. So as you're going through it, I'll read the text and I'll explain a few words that maybe are a little bit unfamiliar. So soju. Soju is an ancient spirit. It means a type of alcohol, a liquor, developed in the 13th century solely for the emperors of Korea, solely for them. Things have changed a lot since then. Around 3 billion bottles of soju are sold in South Korea each year. South Koreans love to drink. Well, that's just the opinion of this article. According to the WHO, World Health Organization, South Korea is the leading country in hard liquor consumption. So that would be the drinking, the consumption of hard liquor. I'm assuming that to be above a certain percentage. Soju outsells vodka, so think of Russia's famous drink, almost 3-1 on a worldwide basis, and has in recent years been introduced into the US by the company Koo Soju Inc. In Korea, many A-list Korean celebrities like Ha Ji-won, Lee Ho-ri, and Song Hye-kyo adorn the labels. So that's a pretty way of saying they are featured on the labels. They are decorated on the labels. They appear on the labels of such brands as Chamisu, Chongchorom, and Ipseju, giving these drinks appeal and attraction and creating a desire to want a cool, chilled one-shot. All right, a little bit of fun to talk about this popular beverage. And let's get back to the chat. Oh, there are a lot. Okay, yes. I'm getting some good answers in here. And for the sake of time, I will just reveal where the capitals should be. And maybe some of these answers will surprise you. Now, I've done this writing assignment with students in the past, and a lot of students sometimes, well, not a lot, but they'll sometimes capitalize ancient, or just our regular descriptive word, emperor. Now, this one, it's not capitalized, and the reason is because we're not naming a specific emperor. So generally we're talking about, these kings, these emperors, these leaders. So there's an S on it. It means there's more than one, not a specific one. So it's a common noun. But if we said like Emperor Lee, then it would take the capital letter. So watch out for that. Whoa, Jenny. I think you got a lot of them. It's so hard to transfer all of them over. Kimberly, yes. And Jung Da-woon, of course, all of the names of the celebs, of the famous people. Too much. I'm going to quit cold turkey. I'm so sorry. Thanks, Jenny. Did you write those sentences? No, these are from a previous book. The colleague that I had mentioned who created this text for another university. All right. And does anyone have any questions about this? Why this word and not another? Why isn't soju or vodka capitalized? Well, they're just common nouns. They're as common as pizza, orange juice, like this. In your writing, if you want to show that a word is taken from another language and it's a special thing, so like, soju from Korean, vodka from Russian, you can write it in italics. Now, I don't have a good example on the screen, but it's not straight, but italicized. You can italicize. And that shows that it's borrowed from another language, but we don't capitalize it. N. Yes. Okay, good question. N asks, what's an A-list celebrity? In Korea, many A-list celebrities, like such and such, A-list are considered like top, A grade, you could hear. Like A grade Korean beef, Hanu beef, the top beef, it's A grade. An A-list celebrity would be the top tier of celebrities in a country. We sometimes say that a celebrity or an actor is a B-list or a C-list. So kind of lower in popularity. Maybe they don't make as much money on their contracts as the top A-list celebrities. Jenny, yes. Best products or best known. Right. So good question. And in that case, we would capitalize it. Just as we would capitalize our grade in university, like A+, A0, B+, B0, always in the capital. Good and great. Wow, time flies. So, well, we'll leave you with a fun question, and then we will end our lesson together. So, back onto our subject of Chuseok. Will you drink anything special this Chuseok? Earlier, we talked about, I believe it was shike. So, for example, soju, shike, maybe some rice wine, some makgeolli. Maybe you'll have a coffee. You'll go to a coffee shop with your loved one. So do you plan on drinking anything special this holiday season? Okay. So some alcoholic answers, some non-alcoholic answers. I just thought that was a good tie-in from our previous article. Korean alcohol made from rice, makgeolli. Good. Well, I hope that no matter what you're doing this Chuseok, that you have a very safe and healthy time with your loved ones, and We have some more answers coming in. Somek. Okay. Enjoy my Chuseok. Good, good. So, wow. Well, we'll end it here, everybody. Thank you again for spending your Saturday with me, with us. And we will be back again, as usual, next Saturday at the same time. So it'd be great if you come back. We'd love to interact with you again. And of course, happy Chuseok and be safe, everybody. So that's it for now. See you, everybody. Bye-bye.